Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Tech Productions. Today I'm Bancroft being joined by James.
What's up, everybody?
And we're doing a little bit different only because, there's like a, 3 hour difference between me and you?
Feels like it once I go both ways.
Yeah. So, we didn't get a chance to do a profile in person, unfortunately, but we figured we'll do the next best thing and kind of do it digitally. So, we're on Untap right now. So some people have already hopped in. If your name is 50 Milk, I apologize, we're not playing. So with that being said, there's buttons. Please click them. James, let's get into your Nappa deck.
Alrighty, so I've been working on this ever since Battle Evolution was announced. I saw this leader and thought that it would be real fun to mess around with and play with. Um, and what I've found with testing is what this deck does really well is it gives you the opportunity to make essentially a 38 card deck. The leader will just farm out the one drop Cybermens, the green ones and the red ones that came from Battle Evolution. So you're thinning out your deck really quickly and leaving what's left really high value red green cards. So front side of the leader, activate main once per turn, add one life to your hand so he self awakens. Play up to one Cyberman card from your deck, then shuffle your deck. And then he awakens at 4 or less. You restand in energy, and then you play up to 2 Cybermen cards from your deck, then shuffle. So just with his once activate main on your awaken turn, you can get 3 bodies back out on the board. My version runs Alliance, so getting those Alliance targets out for free is really super powerful. And then on the flip side, auto, when this card attacks, play up to 1 Cyberman card from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So if you have any still left in there, you can pull them out that way. But I find by the time I awaken, the deck is just out of Cybermen unless I'm reloading them one way or another. Also, once per turn, when one of your Cybermen cards gets KO'd, you can neg up to 1 battle card by -1,000. That's where the control aspect of this deck comes in. A lot is through negging and through KOing with the Cybermen. So really nice on the flip side. And also, once per turn, you can look at the top 7 cards and add up to 1 Vegeta or Nappa with a energy cost of 4 or less. Add them to your hand, shuffle your deck, and then add 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. So that's how you would reload any Cybermen that you ended up drawing into or pulling out of your life, because you want to take advantage of those free plays every single time. So you trade them out for a super combo or the 4-drop Nappa and reload them back into your deck. So for the Cybermen spread, I am running, I believe I put it down to 7 of the red 1-drops and bumped my greens up to 5. I was running it at 8 and 4, but I found that I always just wish I had 1 more green Cyberman. So I switched it up to 7 and 5 to keep the number at 12 so that I have a effective 38 card deck. The red ones are great. With the Unison and unexpected casualties, you pop them, negging something by 1,000. If your leader is on the flip side, you neg it an additional 1,000, and then you can KO anything that's at 1,000 or less. So someone plays out a 30k body, you could just pop it for free. Or they've got 3 weenies, you can pop all 3 of them for free if you've got the Unison. Or with 1 energy if you have used unexpected casualties. So really great. Synergizes well with the leader, especially on the flip, and the Unison, which we'll come to that here in a little bit. The green ones, I found that I always wanted 1 more because you want to awaken this leader on your turn. You don't want to take much damage until you get down to you hit turn 4. turn 4 is the optimal time to awaken. So having free blockers that you can pull out while you're self-awakening is really crucial in this deck. So running them at 5. This one doesn't synergize as well with the negging, but when it is KO'd, you choose one drop battle card of your opponent's and KO it. So it does still trigger the flip side of the leader, where when a Cyberman gets KO'd, you neg something by 1,000, but it doesn't synergize quite as well as the other ones. So on to the Unison. So we're running 4 of the Yamcha Wolffang Fist from Battle Evolution. So this is what really maintains your board for you. Auto once per turn, when one of your red Cybermen cards is KO'd, you may play it from your drop area with its skills negated for the turn. So that keeps those red bodies coming back every time you're utilizing them to pop something on the board. Its +1 is you may choose one of your red or green Cybermen cards and KO it. If you do, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets -1,000 for the turn. So that's how that synergy really comes in. If you're early on, there's a 20k body you don't want to deal with. You just +1, you KO a Cyberman and neg it by 10, bringing it down to 10k in the threshold of the Cyberman. The Cyberman KOs it, and then the Unison brings that Cyberman back so that you can do it the next turn. Or even on your opponent's turn with unexpected casualties. So speaking of unexpected casualties, I run 3 of them, mostly for the synergy, but also for the draw. This leader doesn't necessarily draw. It thins out the deck so that what you are drawing through your other cards, or just for your turn, has more value to you. So the activate battle for this one is you choose one of your Cybermen cards, KO it, draw a card, then choose one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets -1,000 for the turn. So still with the synergy, if your leader is awakened on your opponent's turn or your turn, for 1 energy, you can take out a 30k body essentially for free. With the Unison, you bring that Cyberman back out, so you're not losing field resources, and you're getting a draw off of it. And then it's activate main. If your leader is a red Nappa card, choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. Then send this card from your drop to your warp. Play 1 Cyberman card from your deck, then shuffle your deck. So another way to thin out those Cybermen. You want to get as many Cybermen out of your deck as quickly as possible, because you don't want to draw into them. You want to draw into your other high-value cards. I do not envy Bancroft for the having to edit this one.
It's a big piece of cake.
So last bit for the draw power is running 4 of the Piccolo Juniors. These cards are great. Alliance red-green, which this deck never has a problem filling Alliance. If your leader card is red, this card gains power equal to the total power of the card, switch to rest mode, blah blah blah, typical Alliance stuff. The effect is you draw 2 cards, and if your opponent has 3 or more life, deal 1 damage to them. So it's an unblockable damage. It has double strike, so it's a great card to use to take out some Unisons if you don't want to throw 3 damage at your opponent and let them awaken on turn 2. Target the Unison instead, chip them away slowly. Plus it gives you that 2-card draw. That's where this deck really struggles with, is that card draw. And if you can get 1 or 2 swings off with Piccolo Jr. In your first 2 or 3 turns, that really makes up for that lack of draw power. Next Alliance target is my favorite card in this deck. This Gohan, the SS3 Gohan Master Surpass, is the Playmaker. It's another Alliance. It has Deflect and Barrier, so your opponent ain't doing nothing about it. You get it out on the field, and almost guarantee you're going to get that effect. And that this one's effect is really powerful. So Alliance Red Green, the typical gain power based off of who you switch into rest mode, yada yada. And then its effect, if your leader is a mono red Saiyan, which it is, deal 1 damage to your opponent. And until the start of your next turn, your opponent can't play battle cards with 2,000 power or less unless they place 1 card from their life to their drop. So this deck really easily clears the field. On your turn, it can do so limitedly on your opponent's turn with unexpected casualties and the exploding weakness, but it surpasses at popping multiple things on the field for free with the Unison. So your turn 4, pop the field using your Unison, maybe pulling out a unexpected casualties if you need a little bit of extra oomph, and then swing in with Gohan. Even if they combo out, they're still going to be taking a life, and then they have to crit a life to establish a board. And they crit a life for every single card that they play that's 2k or under, and on either person's turn. So them playing out a Frieza, or them doing Topo, any other counterplay, play this cards, they're going to be critting right away. So this really locks them down once you hit that turn 4. That's why you want to save that awakening till turn 4, so that you can get your Gohan out, you can restand in energy, and still be able to violent raise on the next turn in case they're able to get back a swing at you. So I run those at 3. Considering going to 4, but 3 feels correct right now. And the other playmaker is the new 4-drop Nappa from Battle Evolution. If there are a total of 6 or more battle cards with an energy cost of 1 in your battle area and drop, which this deck does with its eyes closed, when this card attacks, it gains 10,000 power for the turn. Then you choose up to 3 of your opponent's battle cards and KO them. So this thing just decimates the field, and it's essentially a 30k double strike dual attack. So this can really easily push for game and clear the board at the same time. And plus side, it is searchable by the activate main on the leader's flip side. So really easy to get into your hand. I find I don't need more than 2. If I don't draw into it by the time I'm ready, I'm going to be finding it with the leader's activate main anyways. For the super combos, we play Nappa Demolition Man. I do run a little bit of Arrival in this deck, so that's why I'm playing the Nappas. You could consider doing a draw, the Raditz super combo, so that you can reload more Cybermen into the deck and get some draws off of it. But I like having a super combo that you can search for with the leader, because it is also a valid target for the activate main. For those big swing turns, the turn that you play out your Piccolo and the turn that you play out your Demolition Man or your Gohan, I do run 2 Koitsukais. So for 1 energy, you remove it from the drop, then choose up to 2 cards in your hand, place them on the bottom of the deck, draw that many cards. So it's another way to reload Cyberman, or maybe something that you have that you don't want to see yet, and they draw that same number of cards. And then what's great about it, for the rest of the turn, if your opponent plays a battle card with 2,000 or less power, choose 2. They have to choose 2 cards in their hand and send them to their warp. So if you don't, someone's standing on 2 energy, you're afraid of a topo coming out, or you're facing green and you want them to pay for that Frieza that they counterplay for you. Spending that energy, getting that extra cycle for the draws, and then they have a hard choice. Do I want to ditch 2 cards just to topo this turn? So really good at slowing your opponent down there. Since it is a red-green, and we have to run 4 of the red-green Broly's, energy exhaust, but if there is a energy with both red and green in your energy, you negate the energy exhaust for the turn. So don't have to explain that. I find I haven't used the auto yet. I've never hard casted it, but I could find it. I'm sure one day they'll have 1 card in hand, and I'm want to guarantee that I get my swing, so I'll pay 2 energy
no
to
one ever
get that
uses
one out.
that.
One day, maybe, possibly. So running 4 of those. For our barrier hate, I'm running the SSB Kaioken Son Goku. He has 2 uses. You play him out. His auto, when you play the card, choose all of your opponent's battle cards with 2,000 or less power and KO them, which you can modulate that really easy with this deck. They have a 40k body. Unison will neg it by 1. The leader will neg it by another 10, bringing it down to 20, and then play this out. It has deflect, so it's almost guaranteed to stay there. You've got another 15k beater, but it can clear most fields pretty easily. And also, if there's a troublesome barrier card, for 2 energy, you can activate main. If your leader is red, and you place this card from your hand to your drop, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and it gets minus 25,000 for the turn. Now for our arrival targets. I decided to run the Son Goku Unwavering Conviction, because this deck wants to be defensive. It wants to avoid taking damage in its first 4 turns at all costs. And I found running Beerus Champa really didn't do a whole lot for me. The big cards that are going to be swinging are going to be the 4-drop Nappa, the 2-drop Piccolo Jr., which already have double strikes, and Gohan, which once you get Gohan out, you're close to already securing your game. So I didn't find that was really too useful, except for just another way to neg something down, which this deck has plenty. I may mess around with the Gogeta, but I find this Gohan gives me another opportunity to be defensive on my opponent's turn. So activate battle once per turn. Place 1 card from your opponent's combo area into its owner's drop, and then choose one of your Unison or battle cards other than this card, and it gets 5,000 for the turn. So it's a combo killer on your opponent's turn. You won't be able to combo kill on your turn unless, hinky game mechanics, but you get your battle phase first, so there's going to be nothing in the combo area. But it's nice on their turn. And then it adds more pressure. It's got double strike. You can buff one of your other cards by 5,000 using its activate battle. It's nice for that defensive feel. And for our secret rare, we're running the SSB SS3 Scramble. Arrival, red and green. It's a pricey one. 3 green, 2 red. But when you play this card, choose 1 card in your life and place it into your drop, and then deal 2 damage to your opponent. So by the time you're hitting turn 5, you likely have your opponent down to 2, so it can be a finisher. Or if you need a little bit more of a defensive option, it also combo kills. So it's an auto, so you can do it on either turn. When your opponent combos with a battle card with an energy cost of 2 or less, choose up to 1 card in the opponent's combo area and place it in its drop. And for tech, I'm running 2 exploiting weaknesses. It's a counterplay. Um, it's reduced by 2 if your leader is red, so effectively a 3 drop. When you play this card, choose all of your opponent's battle cards. They get minus 20,000 for the duration of the turn. And if it's your opponent's turn, you choose one of your leader cards, and it gets 5,000 for the duration. So, really good. If you got this in your hand on turn 3, just using your passive removal, using the Unison to pop a Cybermen to clear the field, and then pass on 3. It's a little bit telegraphed. Your opponent's going to know what's coming, but it makes them play around it, and that's when they make mistakes. And we're running 2 topos. For those of you that don't know what topo is, the one person that might be watching this video that's never heard of this game before, choose one other card in your hand, place it in your drop area, you negate the attack, and play this card. And on your opponent's turn, it's reduced by 2, so effectively 2 cost. And auto, if it's your opponent's turn, when you play this card for the duration of the turn, your opponent can't attack unless they choose 2 cards from their hand and place it in their drop each time. So, really good turn stopper. And rounding us out, our last 3 cards, Violent Raise. Violent Raise is such a good counterattack. If your leader card is red, negate the attack. Then you can choose 1 card in your hand to discard it. If you do, you choose 1, either battle cards or Unison cards, and your opponent cannot attack with cards that have 2,000 or more for the turn. So if you choose battle cards, 20,000 or more cannot swing at you, so it's another good way to shut down the turn. Doesn't really work well against decks that go wide. So Topo is there for the ones that go wide, and then Violent Raise is there for the ones that go tall. So as the meta shifts, the ratio may change. Maybe do 2 Violent Raise and 3 Topos, but right now I've found that 3 and 2 respectively is better.
And with our current meta at our shop, we only do best of once right now. But definitely for best of 2, you add an extra topo into your sideboard just in case you need to adjust those numbers.
Yep.
But with that being said, like I said earlier, I know it's a little bit different than normal just because there is definitely traveling involved from location A to location B, and it's just there's no time for it currently. So with that being said, if you guys did enjoy this particular method of doing it, let us know. We'll do a couple more like this. But with that being said, James, last words?
Well, I was going to steal Fluffy's last words, but it looks like Fluffy joined in here, so I'm going to introduce Fluffy with my last word.
Fair enough.
Yeah, sorry, I tried to sneak in without disturbing the balance. I'm not sure if that succeeded or not.
You've disturbed the force.
Fluff, would you let us out?
Absolutely. I'm sure James talked Nappa up a lot. Don't sleep on this deck. It's actually really good. It's surprisingly good for a gimmick style deck. Can I say that fairly?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the deck's really good.
It's not going to win anything huge, but it's a really solid control deck that thins itself out and guarantees that you're drawing value every single turn. I really like it, and it's a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, it really is, and it's fun to play against. It's a different type of a deck to play against. But if you guys want to see something different, make sure to let us know in the comments below. If you want to see us build or tinker with something, or if you want to see us mess something up royally, make sure to point that out, as you guys always do. As always, read your cards, know your plays, and fluff out.